I've been surveying since 1981. All right, recently retired a few years ago. But when I got into this profession was pretty much tape, transit, and if you were lucky, you had an electronic distance meter. All right, by the late 80s, due to the space race mostly, all right, you started to see GPS and the technology of the early electronic distance meters, the data collection. The electronic technology was upon us in the late 80s and really started to hit in the 90s. So once you saw that, the whole profession was now changing, and it was changing for the better. It used to be that profession was no real technology and a lot of hard work. When technology came about, I saw the opportunity to jump into that and exploit it to the best of our ability. Started with satellite positioning with GPS, early 90s, continued through laser scanning and ground penetrating radar and all of and today aerial drones, just to name some of the things that we had encountered and embraced. And what it did is it allowed salaries to go up significantly from where they were in the 70s and the 80s, all right, to where now it's a great career. You come out of school today, you can make as much as a young engineer coming out of school. Working in the survey field is just an excellent opportunity to embrace all of the technology that's out there. And some of the projects that I've encountered during my career was worked on the Kuwait air bases, did the North Coast Highway in Jamaica, 338 stations across 167 or 267 kilometers. All right, those are the kind of jobs that most people run away from, and the people that are willing to take the risk, all right, of doing something that's new can, meet with joy unexpected in common hour. I teach a couple seminars on professionalism and ethics, and what I tell people is that the integrity that you put out in your early life, in your young years, will follow you through your career, and you'll be known. And if you're good at what you do, you deliver, you can almost name your price. Today, there are so many opportunities to do different things because we have specialized. And if you want to go into photogrammetry, if you want to go into LiDAR, if you want to do boundary surveys, if you want to do land development, if you want to do vertical construction, all of those things are technologies that you can get into now and pick your field. Get into hydro, work offshore, work for NOAA, and do projects that go to full depth, ocean depths, and mapping and those kind of technologies that are out there today, that you don't have to pick one particular thing. You can specialize and do very well and make a lot of money doing it. The different venues that you can pick, I started out with tape and transit. I jumped into GPS, went to my first seminar in '87. There were 5 satellites in orbit. They were decaying already. We had knocked out our launch mechanism, which was the space shuttle, after the Challenger exploded in '86. A terrible tragedy, but that stopped any GPS satellites going into orbit. By '89, they started to launch satellites again on the old Delta II rockets from the ICBM missiles. And by January of 1990, we had 12 satellites in orbit, and I jumped into my first job. I think FSMS has had a fantastic role in the profession. I was a past director here, and what we see with the legislative things that go on and what we do with our lobbying and with our PAC funds, and these are things that the majority of the surveyors that are members of associations are members of FSMS. So I encourage I've been a member of FSMS since the 80s when I first got into surveying, because I saw them as an opportunity for networking, for being able to work with others and share information. It is a very good place to be and a very good place to make contacts.